Canterbury has been the dominant force in New Zealand provincial rugby for a very long time. 5 titles in a row is testament to that. And tonight here in the capital, they're yet again in the grand final of the ITM Cup. Wellington, this season's top qualifiers, a stand between the Red and Blacks and another title. And so it's the best 2 sides going head to head for the premiership here tonight. I'm joined by Jeff Wilson and downstairs Willie Losay. Firstly, Willie, conditions.
Yeah, very, very blustery down here, Nisbo. You can see there at the top of Mount Victoria a northerly of 45 k's. Good for dry in the washing, but not so good if you're a hooker or a goal kicker here in the capital.
Yes, no rain today, but a lot of wind, and it certainly is going to play its part in this game without any doubt at all. And as expected, it's a powerful Canterbury side lining up to defend their title. Tom Taylor, Ryan Crotty, Luke Whitelock, Joe Moody will all be leaving on the All Black tour shortly. So too will Dominic Bird, who starts tonight on the bench. Andy Ellis again wins the starting halfback berth, and George Whitelock again captains the Canterbury side. So they'll be the first team out on to the park very shortly. And Willie Hines, well, he's ready to go. In fact, these are the reserve. Colin Slade back in the reserves tonight. So not only a powerful starting 15 for Canterbury, but also a very good bench. And of course that plays a major part. Canterbury using the season, as they often do, a relatively slow start, but they are finishing strongly. And just look at that semi-final win over Auckland last week, 56-26. It doesn't get much more decisive than that, as Canterbury make their way onto the park. And there are any number of key players in this Canterbury side, and one of them is Nasi Manu, big, strong and powerful, just the sort of player who will shine in these fairly difficult conditions. And of course there'll be comparisons tonight with Victor Vito as well. And Tom Taylor, very versatile player. You might remember he started at first 5'8" against the Wallabies for the All Blacks this year, and he has played a part in this Canterbury campaign. He's in the 15 jersey tonight. Joined by former All Black on the commentary tonight, Jeff Wilson. Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Nisbo. Good evening, everybody. It's a huge night for Wellington Rugby, this Wellington Lions team. Big responsibility up front for Schwalger, Matu'u, Tu'umanga, Allen. Get their front row platform set. Call Adia Sevilla, the latest All Black apprentice to be involved, and of course Frey Wilson, Lima Sopawanga will be important in terms of driving their team around the park. And you see there the enthusiasm of this Lions team. They have been the best performed side in the premiership this year. They have built very, very well, got better and better as the season's gone on. Had that one upset to Hawke's Bay, which would have galvanised them as they went in towards that semi-final against Counties Manukau last weekend, and they were dominant at 41-10. And this man here, Victor Vito, many saying very unlucky not to be part of that Northern Hemisphere tour with the All Blacks. He'll have a point to prove. He has been inspirational for his side. There'll be some nerves as they prepare. Wellington Lions leads them out in this crowd. Excited to have a final at home. And Brad Shields, at the end of another arduous season, the dominant force for them in and around the breakdown, ball carrying ability. They're looking for a big impact. He too in the All Black frame. And Charlie Ngaitai, welcome back to the starting 15. Missed last week through injury, influential player, successful season for the Chiefs. And in these conditions tonight, will have a big influence on the outcome of this game.
So we're just standing by now for the national anthem. Ainsley Allen will sing the anthem.
To be sung by Ainsley Allen.
Whakarongonga
Ainsley Allen with the national anthem. It's the 5th time these teams have squared off in a final in 14 seasons. Canterbury holding a 3-1 advantage at this stage. Chris Pollock is the referee tonight. His assistants, Nick Bride and James Dolman. And Chris Ratt is the TMO for the final tonight. So it all comes down to this. The two best sides in the Premiership. Tasman winning the championship last night in a thriller over Hawke's Bay. So Wellington left to right, and if there is any wind advantage, they probably have it in the first half, but it does swirl around in the stadium. So away we go in the final for 2013. Canterbury against Wellington, and Canterbury securing possession from the kickoff, nicely taken down by Joel Everson, and Canterbury move it across into the arms of Adam Whitelock. Now Ellis back for Blindale, and this coming down just near the 22, and the kick right down the centre. You've got to be very careful you don't overkick it. Now that's gone back, and Tom Taylor can't kick this directly into touch. So it's fielded by Tim Bateman. Now Charlie Ngatai looking to get a little angle on this, and again you've got to be careful here that it doesn't go dead, and it's going to come to a grinding halt, and it'll be a 22 dropout.
Well, the cat and mouse affair early on in this game. Both teams would like to get a bit of a feel for the wind and how it's affecting the kicking. Both sides being confident enough that they can put the ball in behind their team, in front of their side, in front of their forward back, behind the opposition, force them back in their own territory. Canterbury not afraid to kick into the wind, back the defence.
So Blindale goes with a long kick downfield, taken down by Wilson. Now Leua puts boot to ball, and this is high and easily taken by Blindale. He's standing outside the 22, and the first real contact between the two sides as Wellington try and drive over the top, but not rolling away.
Chris Pollock will like to stamp his mark in and around that breakdown very early. Expectations will be for it to be nice and clean. Entry into the ruck, tackler rolling away, making the ball available. Possession so key when you're playing into the wind, because you like to hold on to it for long periods of time, soak up the clock, and Canterbury very good at that.
So Ben Fennell might not be an easy night for the line-out throwers. But the first one was okay. Canterbury bring it down in the finish, just on their own side of halfway. Ellis, off it goes to Blindale, out into centre field. Now Ellis, a switch of direction, and Everson makes some ground downfield for Canterbury. They'll be keen to keep the ball in hand. Blindale has a dab, he's not afraid to. That went back, and here's Crotty in possession. And he's got the arm out here. Chris Pollock, another penalty.
3, offside. What's 3-8, Nick? Thank you. Number 3, offside.
I welcome all our viewers around the world that have switched in to watch this Premiership final from the ITM Cup. But Willie, as you saw there, the Lions very keen to get up very quickly, put the pressure on this Canterbury team, try and force an error.
Yeah, definitely. And the interesting thing too is Canterbury changing their style of going one way and then back the blind side here on that occasion, suggesting that the tight head prop was offside, and so they've come back and Blindale has cleared for touch.
So an early opportunity here for Canterbury with 3.5 minutes gone in the game. Taken down by Luke Whitelock. And trapped in the back here by Nasi Manu, having a look around. Now starting to get a little bit of momentum. Now it goes wide on the blind side to Ellis. And he gets shut down. George Whitelock stands over it. Gives it off to brother Luke. And driven back in the tackle. Still 15 metres away. And pass missed. And Blyndale taken down by Shields. But it's still there. Canterbury with the possession. Here's McNichol having a dab. Lost the ball behind him. And kicked through. And it's been snapped up here by Leua. And Wellington in possession inside their own 22 as Wilson clears it back, and Ngatai gives it an enormous thump downfield, and that's what can happen with the wins.
Just an enormous spiral from Charlie Ngatai. Struck it beautifully. He knew if he just got it up into that wind it was going to carry. The turnover from Canterbury, as we see here, just caught that wind beautifully.
Well, he started that a long way infield and spiraled it into touch. A kick of around about 70 metres. 5 minutes gone in the final as Fennell throws. Luke Whitelock is high. Now Blyndale gets it out into midfield to Nasi Manu. He'll be running strongly with the ball all night tonight as Ellis flicks it away. Oh, that's gone a mile forward. Not caught, and off goes Osborne. Fires it back in field, and Canterbury have got a chance here, and it's Taylor sprinting for the corner, and in the end he gets nailed.
Well, let's just see maybe what Chris Pike has thought about this, because it was one of those situations where he might have believed from the hands it's gone backwards. Have you seen the motion that it has? It's gone backwards, and then it's drifted forward with the wind. So it's a difficult one, I know, to understand, but within the laws, and here Wellington hard on defence.
So the first line out thrown by Matu'u has Reddish coming away. Now the pass drifting off to Shields, and he takes it hard into contact, and they set up the angle for the clearing kick by Sopuanga. That's not out, so Osborne, he's a dangerous man. Patrick Osborne, he's already made one bursting run down the wing. Now he runs into Nikatini. Drops the pass nicely off to Crotty, who drops it cold. And Wellington looking to counter-attack. And they'll have to come back for the original knock-on by Ryan Crotty.
Good work at line-out time, though, Willie, from both sides already in this match. In difficult conditions, getting up. Throws being nice and accurate.
Yeah, definitely using Luke Whitelock, Canterbury, but Reddish there, hard on defence, getting up and claiming it brilliantly. And he is so elusive as Patrick Osborne, but the turnover there, straight away from Crotty. And as quick as you like, Wellington pounced on it. No advantage, they've come back. Geez, there's plenty of endeavour from both teams.
Nothing but two between these two forward packs. On average about 110 kgs each. Some big men out there in the scrum time. ITM Cup's been a challenge from time to time. Let's see what's happening early on in this match.
Sit!
So Wilson gets it into the first scrum, and down they go in the front row.
Good boy, Nepo.
Charlie Ngatai standing out here to the right for Wellington. Out here with Matt Proctor. And Canterbury are quite comfortable with that, because they haven't sent anybody across to mark him. Just leaving Osborne on his own.
Can we have a little bit more height, please? Up. Height. Time off, Chris.
Yes, they don't have a good record in finals, that is for sure. 2000 was the last time. Now we do have an injury stoppage here.
We shouldn't forget that that's still an impressive record. I mean, it's not easy to get to the final. It's just getting over that hurdle, isn't it? Getting across the line.
Yeah,
it's a very, very good Canterbury side in the previous years. They're there or thereabouts. You shouldn't underestimate that. Of course, they're at home again. Looks as though Luke Whitelock's got that, something maybe peeling in his eye. He's got that taken care of. But that intent with the wind behind you is do you want to kick possession away continually, thinking about field position, if you're not then getting the ball at the other end of the park? And they have been dangerous all year, the Lions, from deep inside their own half. So an opportunity maybe here from the platform, if it's right up front, to maybe launch an attack, launch a strike. Put the pressure on the Canterbury defence.
Sit!
So in it goes. Vito hands it off to Wilson. Just stabs a little kick in behind, but it's being fielded by Osborne. And oh, he's brilliant, Osborne. He's got away once more, and now the kick and chase is on, and he's still leading the charge, and that's brilliant. Osborne pretty much on his own, supported by Ellis, and Canterbury strike first.
Just superb play from Patrick Osborne. The recipient being Andy Ellis, but the work done by Patrick Osborne. He dropped back defensively from the scrum and stunned this Wellington side. Good platform up the front. Frey Wilson puts a kick through, doesn't put enough on it though. And Osborne picks it up and explodes, and he is gone. Ngatai misses. Kicking behind Proctor's missed him, and then the speed, not enough urgency getting back, and like any good halfback, Andy Ellis, the master of it, he scores and strikes early.
Yeah, once he got in behind here, you could see Frey Wilson was trying his best. Sopawanga cruised across, and once Osborne got it, it was try time. He's been in terrific form in 2013 as Andy Ellis. He deserves that.
Well, they went to Andy Ellis, but really they should have gone to Patrick Osborne. Now Tom Taylor is going to do the goal kicking. It's been Tyler Blyndale in recent weeks, but Taylor from a handy position adds the extra 2, and Canterbury have made the best possible start in the game and lead by 7-0. Well, he spent half the season on the bench, Andy Ellis, as Willie Hines is doing tonight. And there's the kickoff, and this one has been lost and snapped up by Shields. Canterbury make a mistake from the kickoff, and here's Wellington's best opportunity early on, as it's taken down to the 22, whipped away by Proctor, and here is Swolger bouncing his way downfield. Now he lays it back for Wilson. Off it goes. Here is Vito. Oh, beautiful, but he just couldn't link up. Got the arms through the tackle, just couldn't link up.
I love the intent though. Attacking the line, clearing what he was trying to achieve. Had a support player on the outside. It's good to see Vito in the open spaces. Just had to put the ball up in the air a little bit longer, and Shields have been away down that sideline.
Fennell throws. Wellington gets in the road, and they've turned this over, and they've got a penalty as well. And hands in the ruck from a Canterbury player.
Well, this is an interesting decision here, because you're right close to the touchline. Now it's not going to be an easy kick given the conditions. As the case early on in the game, maybe punch it down to the corner, trust your lineup, but no, they've decided to go for goal.
Fennell looking comfortable. That's great from Victor Vito, getting up and competing in the air. And then just as Frey Wilson broke through there, straight off his feet, that's what the penalty is for. But Fennell not looking too good, Nisbo.
Vito's such an athlete, isn't he, Nisbo? And he gets up so quick at the front there, and in these conditions, when you're trying to throw fast, flat throws to jumpers, if he can cut that off like he did there, they'll be under pressure all night.
Yes, he really is a good line-out forward. So player holding the ball. Frey Wilson.
Kicking in the stadium is such a challenge, because the wind swirls around. So you're not sure whether it's coming off your right or your left from time to time.
Well, he's got that one. Bang on, left to right. You don't see that very often, but it's 3 points.
It's sort of actually his natural way that he kicks the ball. It's not conventional, but he tends to punch the ball. And on that occasion, kept it nice and low. We're talking about a local. He'll know this ground better than anyone. He's practiced here every week. So he'll know which wind is going to work and how he's going to get it through. It may not look pretty, but got the result.
Blyndale with the kickoff. Taken down, or he let it bounce Reddish in the end. And when you've got the wind behind you, you can get out of jail pretty quickly. And Sofuanga did that.
A lot of movement in the Canterbury line-out already today, trying to just confuse the Wellington defence.
Fennell throws, nicely dragged down by Everson. Now here's Ellis, nice move here. Blyndale gets it wide. In comes Taylor, had the ball ripped away from him though. Not sure whether that was Adi Savia or not. Now here's Vito sending it on to Shields. Now, it might have been Leua who ripped it away. A lot more prevalent these days, players tackling the ball as Bateman kicks and lands it nicely. Drifting back after this one is Adam Whitelock, and his kick taken inside the 22 by Sofuanga. Ellis roaring after that. He reckons that it's was pointing. It wasn't taken back. Andy Ellis, he'll try anything.
Yeah, perfect outcome for Canterbury though, isn't it? I mean, once again, they've got territory. Sometimes when you've got the wind behind you, you actually don't want the ball to go into touch. You want to keep the ball in play for long periods of time, put the pressure on the defensive side. Canterbury doing a good job at line-out time.
Fennell throws, deflected by Kartini. Now here's Osborne, the danger man. He has been so far anyway. As Ellis digs in. Blyndale. Now this will hold up. And is well taken by Leua. It's been taken off him though by Nautai. Now Wilson gets it off. And Sofuanga kicks again. And Blyndale cruising inside the 22. And he makes very good contact. Very good contact.
It just seems on this side of the field, closest to us as you're watching the TV here, it doesn't seem to be affecting the kicks anywhere near as much. You know, coming off the stand, both teams getting good distance on this side of the park. So I think maybe the Wellington Lions need to look at their strategy. Look at the far side of the field, deep in the right-hand touch corner. But also maybe just get into their game, hold some position for 3 or 4 phases.
Well, that's a poor throw. George Whitelock has grabbed it. The referee was playing an advantage there, but I think the advantage is probably gone already. As Crotty is taken by Nicotini, and Ellis now works it away for Adam Whitelock. Wellington endeavouring to drive over the top of this. Ellis has to go in and grab it quickly, and they close him down, and Nicotini's there again. And Wellington get the penalty. Well, they were just ferocious at the breakdown. There was no let-up at all.
Well, they made up for the mistake in the line-out, didn't they, Jeff? Because once they had lost the ball, they just concentrated on their defence and their line speed. In particular, when Andy Ellis got the ball, they shut him down very quickly. They held their body weight and got the penalty.
What Canterbury tend to do and watch them is they get into their system and they like to spread their players across the field. They don't commit a lot of numbers to the breakdown. So if you get some offensive tackling going forward, all of a sudden they're going backwards. You get some numbers in behind, then entry becomes an issue, guys going off their feet. But this is now a great attacking opportunity for the Lions. They can execute the set piece first and use some of the power they have in their midfield. Treby, Bateman, very good on his feet.
Well, whose first throw wasn't too flash. Oh, look at that from Vito, one-handed. Incredible, really. As Leua takes it into the setup. Now the ball's been lost forward and Ellis snaps it up. Fennell hoofs it off downfield. Good kick too. Buying his team a fair bit of time. And Sofuanga's finally brought it under control. Nautai decides to hoof it off. Now he'd be worried about this. No, it sits up nicely. Because if that goes end over end, it'll go dead for sure. And Taylor returns. Now here's Leua, loves to run and make contact. And a good tackle by Taylor. And Tuamanga Allen snapped it up, but the ball was lost forward.
Just saw some space through the middle there, did Jeffrey Tuamanga Allen. Just had a wee look, I think, before he picked the ball up. Little wee knock on. Then once again, the Canterbury defence deep in their own half, affecting a turnover. As we see there, surprisingly enough, the Lions are the ones that seem to have their wind at their backs, but losing the territory battle. As you see there, just a little knock on.
Just going back to that line out, Nisbo, that was just terrific work from Victor Vito, getting up one-handed and directing it back to his halfback. That was just class.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So Ellis puts it into Canterbury scrum.
Spinning it around.
And Wellington have been done for screwing the scrum.
Stay straight.
Well, I wonder whether or not Chris Pratt could actually let that ball come out, because it was well and truly at the back of the Canterbury scrum. It's disappointing when you get an outcome like that. Sure, Wellington have been trying to work around that left-hand side, try and force a turnover, but the ball was probably there to be used. Be nice if it was able to. As you see here, what they're trying to do is just turn it around. Well, yeah, they're just trying to spin it around and force a turnover, but it's a matter of just, if it's there, maybe it should be let to play.
Nearly 20 minutes gone, first half, as Luke Whitelock wins the line out, and Ellis goes flat to George Whitelock. Just inside the 22 here, Ellis once more, and some big defence by Matu'u. Not the sort of bloke you want to run into, as Blyndale feeds it across. Here's Crotty. Wasn't held, so he gets up and goes again. And the ball is on the ground, and it's going to be a scrum.
Canterbury can do very well as they can stretch you out across the park. They have great distributors on the inside channel, whether it be Ellis, Blyndale, Tom Taylor, Ryan Crotty. So they get you having side-on tackles, as we see. Fennell gets the ball here. It's just such a strong part of Motu Matu'u's game, his defensive work. But they stretch you out, find some spaces on the outside. And if you just slip off one, as Victor Vito did then, they can get well in behind that advantage line. Very dangerous position this. McNichol will be sitting probably in behind Blyndale, Crotty, Whitelock, as we see there. Four guys very tight. Be hard to get it to the outside channels in these conditions. I think they'll punch in nice and close and ask their forwards to go to work around the edges.
Bind. Sit.
So Ellis gets it in. There it is for Ellis. Now Blyndale trying to take the line on and doing very well. And they've gone over the line here, and just a question of where the ball is. There it is for Canterbury. Right there, as they have another crack at the line. Slowly coming back. Big defence required here, Ellis. Now Fennell taken down. Ellis looking to clear it away, gives it off to Taylor, sells the dummy, stretching. Now, did he get it down? No. Chris Pollock right there to make the call. And Tom Taylor comes up centimetres short.
I think you'll find it was Mark Reddish coming across that actually made the impact here as he reached. The big lock should come into frame. Well, he comes in after it. There he comes in. I thought he actually got there earlier. And he lost it. Wow, did he lose it, Jeff?
It's a good question, that. One we'll never get the answer to. I think we just focus on the scrum hand. I think Wellington can count themselves very lucky, though, that they weren't punished. Making it an error in their own 22 now. Can Wellington survive? So crucial, the experience at the back of a scrum like this. Right in front of your own line. Vito might be forced to carry if it gets a bit messy.
Bind. Sit. Yes. Steady.
So there it is, off a pretty solid scrum. And Ngatai unleashes a big punt downfield. He's beaten Taylor. And there's not much on here for Tom Taylor, so he's got to take the conservative route, and that's to hack it into touch, which was really the only option he had.
Well, that's a big error from Tom Taylor. In these conditions, you do not want the ball bouncing over top of your head. You need to set yourself nice and deep. They're always going to look to kick for territory from there. Now it's a 50-metre net gain. Really like to see them keep some ball in hand, show some discipline holding on to possession. Good support in and around the ball carrier. Just haven't managed to get into their game just yet.
Quick transfer of the ball away for Reddish. Here is Treby in midfield. It's there again for Wilson. Decides to take the line on, gives it back to Reddish. Taken in the tackle of Joe Moody.
Use it!
Wellington have been told to use it. So Tuamungara-Allen does that. And off he goes. He's had a very good season. Now here's Shields. He lays it back in turn. Reddish once more. This time Wellington have really taken Canterbury on through the middle. And Bateman just hangs on. Gives it off to Matt Proctor out on this right wing side. Now here is Tuamungara-Allen. Good defence on him as he lays it back in the tackle. Now here is Adi Savia. Just about snuck through. Naikatini whips it away. Now Leua trying to hold McNichol at arm's length. And
You're tackled on the ground.
Penalty.
Got back up.
He was tackled and held on to the ball.
Showing plenty of fight. Unfortunately, his knee's gone to deck as he was held, so he was entitled to have to release the ball. Some better play, particularly through the middle, from the Wellington forwards. Tuamungara-Allen doing a good job finding some space, getting in behind the defensive line, and Leua has been one of the form players in the ITM Cup this year. As we see here, just there, knee goes to deck and then gets back up to run again. Can't do that. Has to release the ball. The Canterbury defence, you watch them, they'll spread right across the field. Place to work them is through the middle, create space on the outside.
Fennell throws, and that's not straight. Just went onto the right shoulder there of Luke Cartini. Never going to be an easy night for the Hookers.
Something you need to be very wary of is the fact that you keep a good gap, give you plenty of space to work with. If you get nice and close, all of a sudden it looks very quickly it's gone down your line. As soon as that ball shifts off that line, makes it appear as though it's not straight.
Jeff, I wonder whether they use Leua here as a dummy runner, because the Canterbury defence will certainly go towards him, and that may free up some space for guys like Bateman and Treby in the midfield.
Sit! Early. Wait for me.
Wellington went early, and so now what will Canterbury do? Probably put another scrum down, you'd think.
Sure. Scrum. Talk to Victor, he knows.
Just looking for an early call then. And he's actually called that from the back, I think, from Victor Vito. Started to push early. Cued from the number 8, which has forced everyone in front of him to fire in. But just look at that. Wellington have got the breeze behind them, and they've only had 28% of the territory. It tells you the control that Canterbury have had. Looking after the position they do have, forcing Wellington back in their own territory.
Sit!
So in it goes, and this one's gone through the Canterbury scrum. It's a mess, but somehow Manu has recovered it, and it's there for Ellis. Now Blyndale away for Adam Whitelock, driven down on the tackle of Treby as McNichol sends it wide for Blyndale. Here's Crotty. As Wellington again step over the ball, And it's picked up by Proctor. And Wellington winning the breakdown off Canterbury ball. Now Sopawanga away for Savia. Bateman swings it wide, and it's just a bit tough for Treby. But he has penalised Canterbury for offside play.
Fignibo Lalala just pushing up a little bit early on defence, but ferocious defence and counter-rucking, Willie, on the outside channels from this line side.
And I think it was because they flooded the area, didn't they? Wellington sending in more defenders than Canterbury put in attackers, and it was the loose forwards as well. Keep an eye out for Vito Shields. There, straight in goes Vito and Shields, and then it's this ruck here that he hits Vito that moves the bodies away, and Sopawanga goes in and steals it.
He shifted about 5 guys with perfect body position. Spine nice and flat, nice and flat, just worked through it, used his power. Get the feeling Wellington, they need to strike, and they need to strike now.
Just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-3, Motu'u finds Reddish. Now Wilson. Strong run by Proctor. Here is Vito charging right near the 22. Wilson away for Swolga. Little run around here from Wilson. Now here's Treby. As Wellington are 10 metres away, and Swolga swings it across to Motu'u. And the hooker. Now they work the blind side through Savia. Sells a big dummy. Canterbury don't buy it though.
Stay.
Here's Motu'u going again. Tuamanga Allen helping him. The referee's got the arm out. And a penalty. So they might be tempted here while they're down here. It's going to be interesting. In a final like this, the argument would be take all the points you can when you can.
I just think, remember, what was the score last time they were here? Was it 7-6 or something like that?
In a final, yeah.
Yeah, it was, that's the last time these two teams played in a final. 7-6, but great little play, great touch from Bateman. I think they're on to Treby. The clean out. Superb. They've gone to the line out. They back themselves. As Motu'u shakes off that carry. Line out drive looks imminent.
So will Canterbury contest here? No, they're going to let him have it. So Naikatini off it goes to Swolga. Very short, just short of the line, John Swolga.
7!
Now Reddish held up. He's laid it back. Wilson to Savia. Savia diving. He is held up just short as well. Canterbury
Use it!
wondering which way they're going to head. Swolga's going to look to the blind side here. Ball is still up there. And Wellington driving over the top. Just short of the line, and it will be a scrum.
Jeff, I wonder if the option was to pass from Savia. He had Proctor out to the right, and I just wonder whether that was the right option to take it in himself, where Canterbury stopped it.
It's always a difficult one. That line in sight. But it was reminiscent of a certain World Cup final that I think we've seen that line out move before. Tony Woodcock scoring for the All Blacks. Wellington, as we see here, they go to the back, they try and create the space through the middle. I think it's Cartini who saved the day, but Swolga goes very, very close. As we see here, yeah, Proctor may have been unmarked. Plandell was coming around. They had an opportunity here, though, and great work from Luke Whitecock, who goes low, but there's a transfer of the ball. At what point is Blandell, is the responsibility let go? I don't think on this line he's ever going to consider that. So now, it's again attacking opportunity. Platform comes first. Imagine they'll attack the line. Proctor, Treby, so very good, close to the goal line. Centre of gravity, powerful runner. Starts up front though.
Moody was the player down, being attended to. Might have been a tactical move, who knows.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Right, so Wilson gets it in. Canterbury come up with a big shove. Now Wilson clears it off to Sopoaga. Takes it to the line. And there it is again for Wilson, off to Vito. So they're right out in front of the post now, as the forwards continue to engage. Reddish got it back. Now Wilson sends it off to Bateman. Gap closes very quickly. Now Wilson again. Here is Leua, once a part of the action. Canterbury defending desperately. Ball is there for Sopoaga. Now Vito leaves it behind. Quickly cleared away. And the try scored by Sopoaga. Big gap opened up.
Well, the reward goes to the back line when the forwards do the work. Wellington forward pack working hard in and around the fringes. Outside backs, Leua coming in to help out. Just keep punching away here. Good strength here from Vito. Ball comes out quickly. Sevilla does well, distributes left of his left foot and dives through. Beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it really was. And Crotty got caught in two-man's land, or got in no man's land, really, because he made the tackle on Vito and then he got up and he thought, do I go out, do I stay in? He went out, then he came in, and that's where the gap was. And Sopoaga, untouched, and right before the break of half-time. That's why they are the champions this year in regular season play, Wellington. And I'll tell you what, Nisbo, this crowd is electric. Tremendous atmosphere down here.
It's two heavyweights, isn't it? That's what we're seeing. We're seeing two heavyweights going at it. It's got that physical intensity about it. It's got that intensity of a Super Rugby game, because there is so much Super Rugby experience out there.
So 10 points to 7. Wellington in front for the first time in the match. And Lima Sopoaga, a try, a conversion and a penalty. Blandale gives the Canterbury team an opportunity to get there, but Vito with that athleticism, absolutely brilliant again. The bloke could play for the Breakers. As Ngatai hammers it down the middle, and Blandale gets some nasty bounces, but he finally brings it under control. Ngatai decides to swing it wide this time to Bateman, and up goes Bateman up the centre, but there's plenty of red jerseys there to greet him. Now the ball's cleared away. Here's Vito again, looking to duck under the tackle of the Whitelock brothers. In fact, I think Adam might have stolen that, and the ball is there. In fact, here's an opportunity for Canterbury, and Nasi Manu tries to get the ball up to Karteni, and a real chance here now for Canterbury as they try and spread it wide. Adam Whitelock, who stripped the ball initially. Now here's Osborne, and this time he can't break away, but he's still got the pass off to Taylor. And no sign of that coming back. And we're seeing some big defence from both sides here in the final.
What you're seeing is a second tackler coming in from Wellington a lot. Someone's going in nice and low and then coming in high to turn over possession. They've just had it stripped from them by themselves. Two-man tackle. Vito gets dominated in the air. Whitelock brothers go to work. And we see here, Osborne gets caught up, offloads. Taylor's isolated, he's in the air. Get in and around the ball. It's very smart play to Bateman. Goes to Deck. Turnover. Maybe guilty there, Victor Vito, playing deep in his own half. You've just worked hard to get yourself in front. That's where you need your playmakers, your kickers of the ball. Direct you back down the right part of the field. Obviously feeling a little bit of a momentum change.
Just saw Tim Bateman there, big week for him, named as the New Zealand Maori captain for their upcoming tour.
Crouch!
So 3 minutes out from half time.
So he's one mark. Yep. Leave space. Your head goes here, you move it again, and I'll free kick you. Understand?
So there'll be one further game tomorrow in the provincial rugby, and of course this is the Lahore Cup final in Timaru. South Canterbury against Buller. Mid Canterbury winning the Meads Cup today.
It's a repeat of last year's final, isn't it?
Bind!
Pretty sure those two teams win at it.
Yes, in Westport, I think, though.
Yeah.
So change of venue. As the scrum goes down, and Wilson. Off it goes to Sopawanga. Now Bateman. And here is Sopawanga. Bursting clear off the pass from Bateman. And the ball's been won by Canterbury. And now they've got it under control. Can counter-attack through Osborne. And once again, the kick by Osborne. Bateman gets away from him easily enough. And it is there for Reddish. Off it goes to Nicotini off the Wilson pass. And the big number 5. Again, Wilson. Now Sopawanga. Here's Treeby. Works it off to Leua. Shields on the wraparound. Leua. Here is Reddish again. Hands it on to Tuamanga Allen. Drops it. And it'll be a scrum.
He was getting lined up to get smashed anyway. Fennell was coming from his blind side. Reddish just guilty of shoveling that on. But maybe an indication that Wellington decided, look, we needed to try and play with a little bit more, as you see here. Fennell's coming from the outside. That was after he'd lost the ball forward. More endeavour from Wellington there. Looking to get the ball to the outside channel. We haven't seen a lot of Leua, Proctor. I'd say Canterbury at this stage pretty satisfied playing into this breeze, getting into the sheds at 10-7 down. It's not their way. They're a team that like to strike just before half-time. They just do it on a regular basis, so I'm picking they'll have one crack here.
Crouch!
If nothing comes of it, she'll be into the sheds.
Last chance as we drift past 40 minutes. Siren will go any second as Ellis gets it in. There goes the siren, and the scrum is screwed around. And so he sends them off to the dressing rooms. Half-time in the Premiership final here in Wellington. And it's 10 points to 7 to the home team. Andy Ellis scored early, converted by Tom Taylor. Then a penalty by Sopawanga to make it 7-3, and then Sopawanga scored and converted a try, 10-7. Let's hear from Tom Taylor with Willie.
Yeah, thanks, Nismo. Tom, tough 40 minutes. What's the key to winning this match in the second half?
I think we're just going to make the most of that one. It's pretty tough playing into it. It's pretty swirly as well, but we're just going to be really patient. We're probably guilty of sort of taking a few 50-50s and going for it too much. We're just going to build pressure and get into our work.
All right, mate. Thanks for chatting.
So there it is, half-time in the Premiership final, and Wellington, the home team, ahead by 10-7. Ahead 10-7. Let's hear from their coach Chris Boyd with Willie.
Yeah, thanks, Woody. How do you win into the wind in the next 40?
Oh, the wind's certainly a northerly, but there are packed pockets of wind that we can use going back the other way. But, 10 points is not enough to get a victory, that's for sure.
What were you happy with the most about the first 40?
We got into our work in the end, but I thought we were a little bit nervous, a little bit tentative. We just need to relax and play some more footy.
All right, best of luck.
Thanks, Willie.
Thanks, mate.
Well, he's done a great job all season, Chris Boyd, along with Richard Watt. They've won 10 of their 11 games. Canterbury have won 9 of their 11. So it really is the shootout between the two best sides. in the competition, and plenty to look forward to, Jeff.
Well, Canterbury will come out supremely confident because they've been here so many times before. For this Wellington Lions side, it's now what can they do in the second half to put Canterbury out of their comfort zone, make them feel uncomfortable about this last 40 minutes of the season at ITM Cup level. But there's certainly players on both sides that can break this game open. We've seen Patrick Osborne do it for Canterbury. I'm sure Alapate Leua, Nat Proctor, Charlie Ngatai have that capability. It's about getting the opportunity.
It looks very much as though both teams are intact as the second half is underway, and Blindale kicks off for Canterbury, and it's claimed by Treby and held up in the tackle of Adam Whitelock, and Shields shovels it back, and Sopoanga puts the kick in, and they let it bounce. Andy Ellis let it bounce. It's all over the place. It's finally been knocked on by a Wellington player following through. So some real hesitation there amongst the Canterbury players. The ball does hold up there, of course.
Canterbury sitting very deep there. Didn't expect that ball to hold up, and Andrew Ellis challenged the fact it was swirling around. They got the outcome they were looking for here. Sopoanga goes in the air. No real intent to claim the ball. Canterbury here. Good position. Expect them to be nice and direct.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Well, the very first scrum of the game went down. After that, it wasn't too bad.
I'll come inside.
Here is Patrick Osborne, way out on the left wing side. He is an ever-present danger.
Change in the formation of the Canterbury backs as well. Blayandell, and then they've brought Whitelock into second five, and Crotty has moved out to that centre position. So
Crouch! Bind!
Well, Wellington went early, so off goes Manu on the tap kick, waiting for someone to engage him, and he certainly found someone. As Ellis away to Blindale. Now George Whitelock, the skipper in the number 7 jersey. Ellis, Blindale, a little kick in behind. That might be the tactic from Canterbury, just to keep it low. McNartai did well to squirm out of a few tackles. Now it's been handed back. Oh, charged down, and having to go back after this is Tim Bateman. And he's done well to scramble it off downfield, Bateman, and bouncing towards touch.
Oh, very fortunate. The one thing you cannot afford to be is indecisive deep in your own territory. And Sopoanga looking to distribute and then kicks at the last minute. Canterbury get a charge down. Bateman saves the day. Very clear what you're trying to achieve. Deep in your own territory.
Fennell to throw, and a good throw this time, and taken down by Cartony. Blindale hands it off to Crotty, breaks the first tackle as Ellis reaches in. Blindale again to Adam Whitelock, and Tom Taylor drops it cold. Was just thinking ahead a little, maybe.
There wasn't a lot of intent about what they were doing, was there? No one's running onto the ball with any speed. The Wellington defence had pushed over into that channel very easily. You watch here, it's just a case of just shoveling it on. Defence had it well and truly covered. And this is when your attack structures for Wellington have to be very accurate. You have to know exactly how you're going to play into the wind, whether or not you're going to play a couple of phases. And if nothing eventuates, you kick for territory. You might kick off the first phase. You might look to build pressure and kick if nothing eventuates. So it's interesting to see what Chris Boyd's talked about. He talked about there being some pockets in the stadium where you can kick for territory. Canterbury used it well in the first half.
Crouch! Bind! Sit! Yes.
So in it goes from Wilson. Awkward for Sofuanga. Too tough. Snapped up by Ellis. Beautifully done, Andy Ellis. Got his pass off the Blindale. Canterbury a real hope here if they can recycle it quickly. But it might in fact be on the Wellington side. Somehow it is. And Ngatai has just belted as hard as he can downfield. Now here is a chance for Johnny McNichol. Taken in a good tackle by Bateman.
Off the knee! Off the
But
knee!
the ball is still there. Now it's loose. It's all over the place. Now it's fallen for George Whitelock. Straight into his arms, and Canterbury driving hard towards the line. Ellis waiting patiently for this one to come back. It's taking a while. Now he gives it off to Fennell. He slings it wide to Osborne, running in a bit of space. Now he works it across here for Crotty. And Canterbury score wide out. Canterbury hit back early in the second half.
The speculator. The ball on the ground ends up in the Canterbury hands. We see here the ball's bouncing around. Savia fly kicks it. It ends up in Whitelock's hands. He gets very close to going over himself. But then all the players are attracted to this breakdown. Look at them all. Fennell makes a great call. Osborne the responsibility of finding Crotty. He gets it to his hands. Treby not there in time. And they strike first, as a typical Canterbury does.
Yeah, well, they did it in the first half, didn't they? And that's not an easy pass to throw in this stadium. But Osborne sized up the opportunity for Crotty out wide. And it was Treby who actually stopped the first try, Nisbo, because when Canterbury had broke through with Ellis to Blayendale, they handed it to Treby, who actually stopped it there. But it's all about opportunities, and the kick through from Severe fell into the hands of Whitelock. And then from that ruck, they scored.
So Tom Taylor way out on the sideline, and the kick is just away. So 12 points to 10. Canterbury back in front, and Willie, I think they made a change
Yeah,
too.
they have. New All Black named this week. Dominic Bird is on for Luke Cartonet.
You're right, Willie. That's not an easy pass to throw. It's on the back of a couple of errors from Wellington deep in their own half.
Well, hasn't Osborne had a game and a half? There's Bird taking the ball down in the 18 jersey. Dominic Bird. Now, big defence on Nasimanu. Canterbury. And Blyndale unleashes. Waiting down the back is Ngatai. He's got Leo with him. He's decided to have a bit of a run, and he's popped it up to Sofuanga, running strongly onto it.
Get out!
Well, the ball is there. Anybody want it? Everybody's having a shot at it. And it's on the Canterbury side in the finish. Fennell. On it goes to Bird. Just on his own side of halfway. And there's a wild pass. Finally controlled by Adam Whitelock. Puts the head down. Ellis again, and Blyndale thought about a kick, held on to it. Now the ball goes forward, and penalty, and it was knocked on initially, and there was a Canterbury player offside who played the ball.
Well, superb refereeing from Chris Pike there, because there was a breakdown that was it was being contested for possession. He just let it play out. And Canterbury ended up doing enough to get the ball, but they decided to hold on to possession. Decision making from their key players deciding not going to keep playing here, but just a little bit of indecision, and throws a speculative pass, and Fennell knocks it on. Players in front. Interesting decision this to take the shot at goal, because this is a difficult kick.
So Wilson hangs on as Sofuanga drills it hard and just wide. Certainly no problem with the distance. And it remains Canterbury ahead by 2. 9
Grant,
minutes gone. Sorry, Willie.
Sorry, Grant, so much talk this week about Luke Whitelock, but it's his older brother, George, that's been instrumental in the second half. Firstly, catching the ball that Savia kicked through, and he was the man that was responsible for that turnover just moments ago.
Ellis takes the kick quickly. Wellington not standing on the mark, and it's going to cost them. That's been touched by a Wellington player. They've just kept it in field and no more. And the ball hacked into touch. Well, there's the experience of Andy Ellis for you.
It's almost like a coach killer. You've done all the work to get the right end of the park. They're either going to drop kick it long and give you back position. You saw Andy Ellis just saw a space, saw an opportunity. And now Canterbury swing right back onto the attack.
So Fennell throws, Bird goes high, immediately gets rid of it, drops it into the arms of Moody. And Canterbury looking to drive this inside the 22. There it is, Ellis. Away it goes to Blyndale. Ball might have been stolen here. It's a maul. I think it was picked up by a Wellington player, so they've got to try and get it back now. They couldn't do so.
I think Chris Pollock actually feels a little bit sorry for Wellington here, because they've done some great work in stealing position in and around the breakdown. It looked as though he was almost going to award them a penalty. They got the position, but then once they'd got it, as we see there, they're holding on. Done superbly well. And Andy Ellis, just his awareness, recognises opportunities to get in on the ball. You open up yourself to all manner of contact in and around you. But you know, you hold that position up, it collapses, you get the ball back.
Well, the turnover was achieved by Adi Savia.
Canterbury have just attacked the inside channel, whether it been Ryan Crotty, whether it's Ty Blayndale. Everything's been done nice and close. Adam Whitelock in the 13 jersey.
Bot! Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's fine. It's no problem. We got to get steady though, eh? Crouch! Bind! Sit! This night.
Okay, so when it goes from Ellis, works it off to Blyndale. They're going to sling it wide this time. Taylor, good defence on him. And once again, Wellington endeavour to walk over the top. This time Canterbury counter through Fennell. And the hooker lays it back nicely for Ellis. Now here is Laulala. Ellis slings it wide again. Now here is Blyndale into a bit of a gap. Taken down finally, but only 10 or 12 metres away here as Luke Whitelock falls a few extra metres. Ellis works the blind side. Close that down fairly quickly. Now Osborne. Canterbury looking to work it back. Now Manu gets it away to George Whitelock once more. Ball will be there. Now Ellis. Here's Bird. Going to work it back to the other side, the blind side. Fennell. Oh, flying at him was Nicotini. Ellis goes again. Now here's Osborne. Got away from Sopoanga. Ellis. George Whitelock again. Relentless from Canterbury as Luke Whitelock charges. Now another crack at the line. Laulala it is. Looks like Moody standing over. No, it's Ellis. Wellington's defence holding at the moment. as Canterbury work them from left to right. Moody just short. Tuimunga Allen made the tackle. And the ball is over the line. And Chris Pollock is right there. Wants to have a look and see what actually happened here.
TMO, please. Chris, try, no try, please. And restart if it's not a try.
A try, no try. Looking for grounding here. Reason for the try not to be given is to see a Canterbury player down. But you said it, relentless waves of attack from Canterbury there. So try and punch through the middle of the breakdown. The ball seems to be up there. The way is on his back, I think.
Frey Wilson telling that it's up.
Oh, look at that work there from Tuimunga Allen. Ball looks as though it's come up here. We see it there on the right-hand side of your screen. Here it is. Well, Willie, doesn't look as though there's any obvious evidence to me that there's been a try scored.
No, I agree with you. Nicotini going in, plenty of Wellington arms keeping it from going onto the ground, and so I think you'll find they'll come back for the scrum and changes for Wellington as well. Goods and Levave have replaced
grounded. It is short on the
Nicotini
ground,
and
so
Schwalger.
red scrum, 5 metres now.
Cheers. Okay.
Well, there's a problem
Time's
here
on,
for Joe
short.
Moody too.
5 metre scrum.
And this is a guy who's supposed to be on the plane in a couple of days.
He's obviously hurt himself in that tackle from Tuimunga Allen, and so Whanunu will come on in jersey 17.
Well, that'll be a tragedy for the young man. I hope it's not too serious. Made a huge impact this season. Enough for the All Black selectors to believe he warranted selection on the end of the year tour. As we see player Whanunu go on for an important scrum. As we watch into the contact here. They were just a little bit maybe on the knee there. Never want to jump to conclusions. Such a difficult place to defend here. Options both sides for Canterbury. Wellington will have to get off the line defensively very, very quickly. And we see here Osborne's gone into first receiver on the left-hand side. Big man, difficult to stop.
So Wellington have made the change on this loose head side too. Reg Goods is in there.
Sit.
So 2 front row changes as the Canterbury scrum twisting a little bit. Now Ellis gets it. Off it goes to Osborne. And he busts the first one, Osborne. Really powerful. Now Ellis gets it wide. And Luke Whitelock was stretching. And they want to have another look. And this time Canterbury are feeling a little better about this one. Pretty sure it was Luke Whitelock who was stretching.
Timo. Try, no try, please.
Oh, has he got it on the line? He may have now with the weight behind it, but can we see it? Certainly grounded, initially a grounded short. But there's a little bit of momentum. I just think it's a difficult angle to see it. As it rolled over, can you comprehensively say that's touched the white line? Vito dives in. It's great work from Osborne initially, and then Whitelock folds around the corner.
Big moment in the game, this.
Oh, massive moment. This is probably the best angle. There's almost his own hands underneath the ball.
It's not there yet, is it? Now, you can only assume that it's got there, but can you rule on assumptions?
No.
Chris, same result. Ball is on the ground short. No clear ground now.
Well, Canterbury are not going to believe this. They're going to be called all the way back. They've all gone back to halfway. Now, TMOs never look at the teams on the field, so I don't know why they try it on.
Well, it was interesting, wasn't it, fellas? Because once he was tackled, he had the right to place the ball. And if he'd gone again, it would have been double movement. He didn't do that, but I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things, though. They've asked Luke White, like, oh, yeah, of course I did. Yeah, obvious. I was there. Unfortunately, you need to be able to see it. Well, look at the second half territory. It's all Canterbury. They've controlled this game. Wellington have been forced to defend for long periods of time. Do you think that weight of territory is going to finally be too much? Once again, though, Osborne's going to look to be on the inside channel. He's been dangerous all night. It's a big ask for Frey Wilson to have to push across and try and make the tackle on a guy with that much momentum. They really need to give him some assistance. Wellington will look to turn the scrum towards the sideline, get their loose head side up.
Bind!
Goods and Savia, but Sevilla has to concentrate on getting out defensively as well.
Yes, no.
Right, so Ellis gets it in. Now Manu hands it back. Here is Osborne. Hanging desperately onto the leg is Sopawanga. Now Canterbury through Luke Whitelock, denied just a few minutes ago as Ellis. Here's Crotty. Oh, Matu'u flying at him. Kamikaze defence. Here's Fennell. And Canterbury work it out in front of the goalposts. As Ellis goes for Manu. Good powerful run by Nasi Manu. Now Fennell again. He's been carrying the ball pretty well tonight. There's Ellis. Drops a low pass. And the ball laid back once again. Here is Fa'anunu. Ellis slings it wide. Now Blindale. Adam Whitelock. Just held short. No. Now, try given. Just wondered for a moment whether we signal a penalty there.
Sorry, I want to check it.
No, he's awarded the try, and then he's had a quick rethink and said no.
Can you just confirm the ball actually hit the line, please?
Just to make sure the grounding is right. And I like this from Chris Pollock. Could quite easily have been easy to go with his initial call, but tackle's made. He's short there. And then it's a pick and go from Blayandale. Yeah, try. Entitled to do it. Would you say he's come through the gate?
No.
Chris, I'm happy that's touched the chalk.
So the try is scored by Tyler Blyndale, and it's 17-10.
What I'm looking at here is the fact that has he come through the gate? And the gate's the line of the tackle player. So it's the width of his body that I'm talking about there. And he was actually lying dead straight. So in theory, he has to come in from directly behind him. But the decision's been made. Moot point, we move on. Important conversion.
Didn't miss the last one by too much, Tom Taylor. And this time he's on target with a good kick. 19-10. Handy lead now for Canterbury.
And a change for Canterbury as well. Super sub Willie Hines in jersey 20 coming on for Andy Ellis. And yeah, he just got it wide. Once he got inside, Leua stretched out. Referee in a very good position.
Righto, the kickoff is made. Wellington haven't played in Canterbury territory for a long time as Matu'u takes it in. Now Wilson clears it away. Into centre field it goes to Treby as Wilson works it off. Now here is Tu'umanga Allen. having real problems cracking this Canterbury defence. Certainly did in the first half. Treby and Bateman working together. Now here's Nartai coming back against the tide. Gets rid of Bryandale. Referee's got the arm out here as Wilson slings it off to Sopoaga. Good defence on Proctor by Osborne, but he got up and went again. He wasn't held. Now here's Goods, and Reg Goods charging straight at the Canterbury defence. Nartai thought about the inside pass, then got it off to Savia. Now here's Adi Savia inside the 22, and over the line they go. And Wellington well fired up from the kickoff.
Fortunately, we've lost a cameraman who's at the deck as a Reese. Hope he's all right. Canterbury in their urgency to get the ball. Smile on his face. Bounces back up. We'll see Nartai here. Much better play. The offloading game, more like the Lions we've seen all season. Savia getting his hands on the ball, but once again, that Canterbury defence. You see here, Nartai just wanting to stop. He's pushed him up. Oh. You can't get sighted with that, can you? That's
sure.
Camera's still rolling.
He's made a sterner stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In the final quarter of the game, and Canterbury lead by 9. They played so well in the second half, or they played well in the first half, but they've scored 2 tries. So Fennell throws. One by Vito. Ball fired in field. Nicely picked up by Bird. So Canterbury with Willie Hines. Now here's Crotty. Held up in centre field. Hines goes to Blyndale, and using the centre of the ground rather than heading directly towards the touchlines. Now Nartai calling, I think it's Ambrose Curtis on the field now, is it? As Savia clears it away to Sopoaga. And nicely handled by Taylor. And Taylor's kick. Now he'll be holding his breath here, Tom Taylor. He'll be holding his breath. And didn't stop. So I think they're going to have to go all the way back. That's clever play.
Well, nice work there from Ambrose Curtis. Recognised the ball was still in motion, just had to be dead in goal. He has to put a dead in goal to push it down. Has it stopped? Oh, not quite.
My era.
Oh,
he's forced it to 22.
He's gone to the big screen and seen that.
So it's my mistake, and he's forced it, so it's a 22. Yes.
Oh, he's forced it, of course. He just has to pick it up with the foot. Out of play, so
back to the 22 then, with 17 minutes remaining. Sopoaga. Hines suddenly found the ball falling in his direction. Manu upended. Adam Whitelock charging into the setup. Now Hines away for Blyndale. George Whitelock had a little look. Matu'u, who wouldn't have a little look? And Wellington back in possession. Nartai away for Sopoaga. Beautiful run by Sopoaga. Held the ball up. There was no one in support. Now Wellington. Away it goes. Vito to Goods. Turns it back on the inside to Treby. As Wellington endeavour to hit back strongly here in the final. Now Wilson away for Nartai. Here's Bateman probing. Referee has the arm out. We did have. As The ball is dropped, and Wilson, but it was an advantage being played by Chris Pollock.
Wow, what a break from Sopoaga. They needed something to spark them, did Wellington. Just a beautiful left foot step, acceleration. So plenty of time on the clock. They've decided to take the shot at goal. Just watch here. Whitelock just sees Vito coming. I mean, the defence has been ferocious from both sides. We shouldn't forget that it's only been a couple of errors from Wellington that have put them in the position they're in. They're still well and truly in this game as we see that.
And what you want, Jeff, from your bench is impact, and Goods has certainly done that. He had 2 carries on that occasion for Wellington to get into a dominant position. He's been good off the bench.
I think already you're starting to see, Willie, in and around the defence in the contact zone, that desperation. That they need the ball, they need to keep playing with the ball. They're not going to allow Canterbury to play and control the rest of this game.
Penalty goes through from Sopoaga. 19 points to 13.
Changes as well, fellas. Tomasi Palu comes in to replace Frey Wilson in number 9, and also Jordan Tafura is on for Manu.
So both coaches heading to the bench now as we get to the business end of the game with 14 minutes left. A 6-pointer as Blyndale kicks it off. Order's been bobbled, but he got it back. Treby. Again, thinking ahead. Now the kick made by Ngatai, and he got enough on it. So Tomasi Palu now at halfback.
We saw it last night. Tasman Hawke's Bay went right down to the wire. Last conversion, Lehigh West had a chance to win. You get the feeling that Wellington are not going to let this opportunity slip away without a fight.
So Ben Fennell throws. Reddish is in there to contest. And Wellington have it. Tu'umanga Allen away for Sopoaga. Taking the line on at every opportunity. And the penalty didn't release. Right out in front too. Very good defence by Canterbury.
Here we go. Holding on.
So this is an opportunity for Canterbury to restore that 9-point advantage. They showed him a little gap, and then they were on to the ball immediately.
I was happy.
It was probably Blyndale more than anybody.
They're just so strong and over the ball. All of these players now, they recognise an opportunity when there is space. Wellington complaining the fact that the player wasn't released, didn't give him the opportunity to play the ball, but you have to get your support there quicker if you're going to hold on to possession now. Every player adept at reading those opportunities. So this is just the strength of Canterbury's game, is that every time they need a big play, they make one. They find a way to get themselves back in front, to edge further away.
So here's Tom Taylor and brings it round nicely. Well controlled kick by Tom Taylor. So that's a 9-point advantage restored.
Changes for Canterbury as well. On come jersey 21 and 22, Thompson and Slade. And off go Blyndale, and also Patrick Osborne's day is done.
Kickoff has been made pretty quickly. And Wellington looking to get Canterbury over the touchline, and they do so. So it was Canterbury that time who were just caught slightly unawares.
Oh, caught napping. Nice work from Sopoaga. They recognised there was a substitution being made on that wing. Sopoaga wasn't in good. He just come on. Thompson, was it?
Yeah, Rob Thompson.
Rob Thompson not in a good position, so got caught next to the sideline. Wellington.
Matu'u throws. Reddish deflects. Sopoaga. Treby ducked under the tackle, but then he lost the ball in the tackle. And it's been snapped up as the ball went forward. Now Hines, and hoofed away downfield by Colin Slade, who's on the park in jersey number 22. Now here's Ngatai. Wellington will be looking to keep the ball in hand here as Ngatai takes it down to the Canterbury 10-metre line. Sopawanga, off it goes to Vito. Canterbury's defence, with one exception when Sopawanga scored, has been very, very solid as Goods hands it on. Now Treby. Here's Bateman looking to straighten the attack. Pops it up. And here is Savia throwing a huge dummy and then trying to duck under a few tackles. Ngatai gets it away. Now here is Lavavi in the 19 jersey. Canterbury might have turned it over here through George Whitelock. I think they have. As Hines. Now again Wellington having to sprint back here. That's a lovely kick by Slade. And all the hard work done into the wind comes to nothing with that kick by Colin Slade.
Willie, you talked about George Whitelock earlier on, didn't you?
Well, he's just a brilliant leader, and that's when you want him at the crucial times. He's straight in, he's so aware of the rules, keeps his body weight, creates the turnover, and that's effective. And that's the end of Artie Severe's night as well, fellas. He's been replaced by Adam Hill.
So 22-13, free kick awarded. So Wellington take it quickly through Palu, but he goes nowhere. He's held the ball up, and Goods goes in at halfback. Now Sopawanga works it off, looking for an offload as Bateman. Can't find anybody though. Now here goes Brad Shields busting up the middle. Lays it back. Now it's there for Sopawanga. He in turn holds it up for Reddish. Sopawanga once more. Now Lavavi. Good defence, but referee was playing advantage offside.
19 inside.
With 9 minutes to go, what Canterbury tend to do with the buffer they have, it's 9 points right now. They're defending with a very flat line. As that kick has made touch, just as Taylor ran that into the touch line. But what they tend to do is they have a flat defence and say, well, you're going to have to play now. You're not going to kick the ball away. We're going to have more men in the front line.
So Eric Sione.
Yep, 17-3.
Yep. For Jeffrey Tuamanga-Allen.
Time's still off.
Who knows, he might be the next cab off the rank if Joe Moody can't make the trip.
Just an update on that too. Lisbo, the left knee heavily packed with ice for Joe Moody.
So it'll be fingers crossed for him. With just 8 minutes remaining. Matu'u, and Reddish got a hand on it, and it's been grabbed though by Laulala for Canterbury. Hines. Adam Whitelock. No, that's in fact George Whitelock standing out there. Now Hines. Once again, Canterbury happy to play the game in Wellington territory if possible. Ngatai looking for some options. Finds a bit of space here. Finds a lot of space. But the ball's travelling a bit too far and a bit too fast. In fact, they'll have to go all the way back. And that was a kick into the wind. And I don't think for a moment Charlie Ngatai thought it would travel that far.
No, found some beautiful space in behind to kick into. Fortunately, it's just kicked on. Not a bad option. But really, they haven't been able to launch their counter-attacks. They haven't been able to break this defensive line of Canterbury. So we see that second half territory. Canterbury controlling this game, something they do very, very well. More than comfortable at how to close out games. So we see another change.
Genesis Marmia coming on for Mark Reddish. And yeah, they're a frustrating side, aren't they, Canterbury, because they're so clinical. They make very few mistakes and they just suffocate you. And then you've got to try and play catch-up. And when you're doing that, you're throwing 50-50 passes. That's why they've won 5 in a row.
Experience counts for so much in these matchups. dealing with the pressure,
Time's on.
making the right decisions. Continue to just squeeze you deep into your own territory and then force you to try and make your way out and play.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
So Hines gets it in. Scrum goes down in the front row, and referee will start it all over again with just 6.5 minutes remaining. Canterbury look to have this one under control. 22-13. And of course the Rugby League World Cup kicks off in the early hours of Sunday morning. Phoenix at McLean Park in Napier tomorrow. And international netball, New Zealand Malawi tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and then good time holidays on Monday to have a look at the Kiwis in action against Samoa at the Rugby League World Cup.
Crouch! Bind! Sit! Really read.
This time it's a free kick to Wellington. Taken quickly, not really from the mark, but nevertheless. So Wellington running out of opportunities as Mamia takes it. Palu hands it up. Motu'u. Canterbury's defence really has been ferocious in this game. Wellington have only cracked it once as they go wide. Here is Treby almost through. Got his pass away for Palu. Now Mamia hands it on to Motu'u. Decides to take the tackle. Sopuanga goes in. Slings it away for Bateman. Now Vito. Sione works it across. Tacklers coming from everywhere. Leua tries to slip away. Now Palu. Mamia looks to step his way through. As Palu goes wide again. Now it's Lavavi. Vito stays wide, gives it back to Bateman. He in turn hands it off to Curtis. And the Canterbury defence trying desperately to hold him up off the ground, turn it into a maul, and they have done. Very good defence.
Talked about it just before. There's plenty of space, but the space is all in behind. And as an attack, you loathe to kick the ball away. But sometimes you've got to make a play. And when you see that flat line just continually there, there are no holes to run to. You see Vito, he's got no options. He's got people going low and high. Steps on the inside, but then all of a sudden there's a swarm. And there's Slade get in. Ball goes to deck. No intentions of releasing. The moment you make a mistake going into that contact, it's very difficult to make your way out.
Canterbury have cleared the bench as well, fellas. Fennell has been replaced. Jersey 16, Cummings 2.
15,070, the official crowd numbers for tonight.
Crouch! Bind! Sit! Yes, nine.
Right, so Willie Hines gets it in with 3 minutes remaining in the final. Canterbury leading by 9. Taylor. Ngatai waiting back. Another attempted counter-attack coming. Leua. Vito. Very slow ball for Palu. Now he finally gets it for Sopuanga. And it breaks down, and it falls to Cummings Toon, and the hook is off, showing good pace. Canterbury have a chance to finish with a flourish here. Hines decides to go blindside. And Canterbury could put this totally beyond doubt. as they pile into this. Here's George Whitelock having a go and getting very close. And they're certainly over the line. It's a question of whether they actually got it to ground.
Chris, I've got ball on the ground. Can you give me any reason not to award a try, please?
Well, there's the question. Ball on ground.
Yep.
So Chris Ratt will have a look. And if he can confirm, then that will be another try.
And on the back of another Wellington era, due to pressure, pure and simply from this Canterbury defence. Body position, ball tends to be up there. We see Whitelock working hard to try and get the ball down. Whitelock working hard here. Ball's on the ground. It's just, he's got a hand on it. It's all a bit awkward.
Somebody's got a hand on it.
I don't think it's Whitelock, though, because you'll see he's turned here, and I think that he hears that it's a ruck and just releases it, and then it ends up on the ground.
Over the goal line, there's nothing.
Look here. He's rolled onto his back. He turns back to his front. There's his right arm there. Is that his left arm? Oh, is that his left arm? I think it might be, you know. His hand on the far side there, that's his left arm.
Left arm's no.
Chris, I can see no reason why you can't award the try.
Can't award a try. Come on.
Well, he's awarded the try. Nobody quite knows who to. Well, it's been given to George Whitelock.
Everyone else is celebrating, but the guy who scored it. As they charge back. Here it is, just another mistake. Cummings Tomb out in the open. Ngatai gets back, but all the damage is done. Well and behind the advantage line. You're scrambling Wellington, and then good support around the ball. They drive him over. He does the rest, Whitelock. And he has been very, very good tonight. Brother comes in to congratulate him.
So Tom Taylor to attempt this conversion, and he is been solid tonight with the boot, and it's 29-13. And Tom Taylor has now scored more points in finals than any other player. Mind you, it wasn't a great record. It was held by Adrian Cashmore, but nevertheless. So Wellington have possession as they fire it away. Canterbury won't want to concede a late try. Wellington will keep firing to the end of the 80 minutes. Treby has got it up off the ground. Now Vito will have to make the losing speech. Victor Vito. Now Levavi driving hard. Here's Goods. As the siren goes, ball is there for Shields. Wellington still have it. It's academic, really. Whatever happens, Canterbury driving over the top, get their hands on the ball, and they will get this, and they get a penalty, and that will be it. So they'll just simply kick it into touch. It's been an efficient win again by Canterbury. So Colin Slade will have the honour of hacking it into touch, and then Canterbury can start celebrating for the 6th time in a row. They win another title, deservedly so. 29-13.
disappointed Wellington side put everything into this match, everything into this season. They came up against a very, very good Canterbury tonight. They continue that great legacy. And we have Willie Losay to talk to Luke Whitelock.
Luke, congratulations, a big week for you, and I suppose this tops it off.
Yeah, the boys prepared well. We knew we were coming to a big challenge here, and just credit to the boys. I guess that defence really come through.
You strangled them in the second half. What was the message at the break?
I guess, yeah, coming out of the break, into the break, we're feeling quite good. We just obviously needed to go to the basics, and like I said, that defence is critical.
And how important was it for the guys to actually strike first and score early in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, getting out of your half with this wind is very tough, and if you can do that and not concede points, it's pretty critical.
6 in a row, how does it feel to be part of it?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, we've been talking about it all week, and the boys have been building nicely, and it's just an awesome way to finish the year.
Well, congratulations, what a great week for you and the family.
Cheers, thank you.
And Artie Severe. Artie, what happened in the second half there? How do you describe it?
You know, we've boys are pretty gutted. You know, Canterbury came out. You know, they came out firing, and we couldn't cope.
Forced into mistakes. I mean, was that just through the pressure that they put on you?
Yeah, look, you know, we put pressure on ourselves, and Canterbury, you know, pounced on that. So, you know, at the end of the day, we let ourselves down.
Disappointment, but obviously when you reflect on this year, there must be so many highlights that you can call on.
Yeah, there was something special on this team, and you know, I really think, you know, we can build from this year and really carry on for the next couple of years for Wellington. So, you know, even though we lost, you know, we got to look to the future.
And Artie, on a personal view, obviously you're looking forward to going away with the All Blacks and learning as much as you can.
Yeah, look, you know, it's a good opportunity to, you know, go as a player and go as a person. So, you know, I'm just excited, you know, for the opportunity.
Commiserations and best of luck overseas.
Cheers, mate.
So the thoughts there of a couple of players from tonight's game. Luke Whitelock on the winning Canterbury side, Artie Savia on the losing Wellington side. So Canterbury do it again, 6 titles in a row, and victors tonight 29-13.